everyone, Brother Ed. It's time for another video. And this time we're going to have a discussion about the pole shift. Let me fix this here. That might be a little better. I can't really see it, so I want to have a discussion about the pole shift. I don't have a lot of time to talk about it. So let's get down to the facts. Here, number one, we're going to discuss the problems with the Earth and that's causing this pole shift. Secondly, we're going to take a look at the magnetopoles and see it in live recorded from NOAA as per today. In other words, what it looks like today. Now, let's get started. First, I want to thank everybody for watching my videos, and please like and subscribe. I do a variety of videos. I'll be branching out and doing some more outside stuff, but just trying to get my operation back up and running. Please hit the like button, smash it, smash it, and then the subscribe. I want you to subscribe and click the bell. That way it'll ring when I post another video. I'm going to try to post one a week, maybe two a week if I can, but it takes a lot of work, and I do have a web Bible study on Mixler.com that runs every day. Not to count my regular life and what's going on. Okay, it's enough of that. Let's talk about this pole shift. First off, there are some things we need to know. Now, between South Africa and South America, there's a magnetic region, and it's called the South Atlantic Anomaly, where the magnetic field is a lot weaker than we would expect in reference to the rest of the world. Weak and unstable field is thought to precede magnetic reversals. So, some have argued that this feature may be evidence that we are facing a pole shift. Now, there's a new study out, and it was published on June the 12th of this year, 2020, when I'm making this video. And it was published in Proceedings of National Academy of Sciences. And they uncovered how long the field in South Atlantic has been acting up, and sheds light on whether it's something to worry about. However, weak magnetic fields, ladies and gentlemen, make us more prone to magnetic storms, right? That have the potential to knock out electronic infrastructure, including the power grid. Now, this is something else that we'll talk about later, and that's the power grid. Now, the magnetic field in the South Atlantic is already so weak that it can adversely affect satellites and their technology when flying past it, or through it, if you will. Now, that strange reason down there is thought to be related to a patch of magnetic field that's pointing a different direction to the rest of the top of the planet's liquid inner core at a depth of that's 1,795 miles inside the Earth. Now, what's happening inside the Earth, they have this, it's called a reverse flux, a patch. It's like this is the core inside the Earth, and then there's a goose egg. You know, like an old tire used to get a goose egg on it. Okay, that thing has grown over the last 250 years, but we don't know whether it's simply a product of the chaotic motions of the inner core fluid because of the outer crust moving about and crashing in such a way. Also, it has a lot to do with the volcanic activity. Okay, so the chaotic motion of the inner core fluid that's battling with the outer core, or rather the latest in a series of anomalies within that particular region over a long time. Now, if it's a non-reoccurring feature, then its current location is not really significant. It could happen anywhere, perhaps randomly, doesn't matter. But if this is the case, the question of whether it's increasing in size and depth could mark the start of a magnetic pole reversal. But if it's the latest in a string of features that's reoccurring over millions of years, then this would make a reversal less likely. But it would require a specific explanation of what's causing the magnetic field to act strange in that particular place and in space, which we're going to look at here in just a minute. So, what could explain the odd magnetic region down there between South America and South Africa? Well, the liquid inner core made out of iron and nickel that's generating it, it moves by convection. In other words, the inner core is rubbing against the outer core, and that's it's like the winding in a motor. But it's happening at such high speeds it can occur in a very short human time span. So in other words, if it's moving, and I'm going to exaggerate this, but if it's moving slow, then it's going to occur over a long period of time. But the faster it's generating and causing chaos, the faster the pole shift. And that answers the question. So the outer core interacts with a layer called the mantle on top of it, which moves far slower. The inner part is spinning faster than the outer part moves around it. Okay? Now, that means that the mantle is unlikely to have changed very much in the last 10 million years. But from seismic waves passing through the Earth, we have some insight to the structure of the mantle. So underneath Africa, there's a large feature in the lowermost mantle where the waves are moving extra slow through the Earth. In other words, it's like that guy who does the earthquakes and he says, it's like a wave. This one causes this and it moves along the ring of fire like a wave. Okay, well that's exactly right. Meaning there's most likely an unusually warm region of the lowermost mantle, right? In the southern part of the mantle. So this possibly causes a different interaction with the outer core at that location, which could explain the strange behavior of the magnetic field in the South Atlantic. Another aspect of the inside of the Earth is the inner core, which is a solid ball. It's about the size of Pluto, our inner core, and it's beneath the outer core. Now this solid feature is slowly growing. Our mantle is beginning to grow, but not at the same rate everywhere, right? Sometimes it makes a goose egg. One part of the mantle is going to grow faster than another part, make a bulge. So there's there's a possibility that it's growing faster on the one side and causing a flow inside the outer core, right? That's reaching the outer boundary of the rocky mantle just under the Atlantic hemisphere. And this may be causing irregular behavior of the magnetic field, which we need to discuss, and I'm going to talk about that right now. Now, I know what I've said to you is a lot to understand, but everything that's happening right now, all the volcanoes, all the earthquakes, our depleting magnetic field is all caused by the mantle. And our mantle is bulging on one side. Why? What outside of the earth is drawing our magnetic field, causing it to weaken and causing a bulge on the same side as something that's drawing it? Now, there are many people who have many rumors as to what that could be. Which, what it is don't matter. What matters is what's happening to our planet, and the increase in earthquakes and the increase in volcanoes. Also, it's scriptural. The Bible tells us and predicts it. It doesn't mean that the Bible is making it happen. It means that the Bible predicts it. Okay? And so with that being said, let's take a look at the magnetosphere, or the magnetopause. Okay, this is a look at the magnetosphere, and we can see that this is the velocity of the magnetosphere. And if you look at the first screen on your left, you can see that there's an issue with the magnetosphere. Look at the back of the magnetosphere. There should be a trail. If you look at the screen on the right, you can see that there's a weakening in the wake behind it. Notice how something is pulling from the back side. Look at the size of that red field in the rear of our magnetosphere. It's incredible, and that is as of today. Now let's take a look at the mass. Okay, this is the mass, and what I want you to look at is right there on the left screen. You can see that weakness up on the upper side. Now looking at the other side, obviously we're looking at the two gaps and the trail behind it. Once again, see that weak side as it pulls out right there. See it right there? I'm going to try to pause it right there, see if I can catch that. Right there. Okay, you see that right there, ladies and gentlemen? It doesn't lie. It does not lie. It tells the truth. And the truth is that our magnetic field is weakening even in mass as we see it on the screen. You see there on the right picture, or the one on the right, there's something wrong. There's those two gaps. Now let's look at the velocity. Now this is the velocity, and you can see it's going to show us here. I got to load it. Okay, here we go. Now you see the picture on the left? Look at that hole. That shouldn't be there, ladies and gentlemen. Look at that. It's so weak. Look at the bow shot. And the one on the right. Look at the bow shot. It's incredibly small, and the pressure seems to be coming more from the back side of the bow shot. And you see, of course, in the front, there's that gap again with the pressure coming from the rear side. Now this is the velocity film, and I'm going to play it a little bit here because I want you to see the facts. And the picture on the left, you can plainly see the hole of our magnetosphere around the Earth. It's weakening. Look, there's even a gap there. Look at it getting worse. You see it? The one on the left. There's it as the white or the gray area begins to fade out. Okay? And then we can see that by the force, the lack of the force in the front and the force in the rear tells us that our magnetic field is weakening, just like we just discussed earlier. And so you can clearly see by the weakening of the magnetosphere, the magnetopause, that there's definitely something going on, ladies and gentlemen. And it's real. It's very real. And the things that are happening to the planet, no man caused it, no man can stop it. But we need to prepare. We need to prepare ourselves for it. And with that being said, thanks for watching.